Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate all the listeners, everybody coming back for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, man. Thank you so much for coming and tuning
Yep,
in.
yep, yep.
My name is
We
Matt.
love
I'm here.
y'all, man.
Yeah, we definitely do, man. My name is Matt, and I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Rod, and this is the Friends Podcast. Man, I really appreciate all the listeners, as Matt just said. New and old, make sure you tune in to some of our previous episodes where we had with some very exciting guests, very talented as well. It ranges from everything from so far that we have introduced to you guys is authors, we have musicians, we have producers, actors, man, like we have people who are creating businesses in the baking industry, as well as doing a little bit of service for the people out there like you guys. So make sure you check us out. We're streaming everywhere. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And also check out the social at the Friends Pod.
Yeah, man. So I guess we can start here as we always do. So what's going on with you this week? Anything interesting popping off for you?
I just got in a little routine. I've been looking at The Rock lately, and I've been like, I'm tired of this nigga popping up on like my feed when I be scrolling through the Instagram or whatever, just working out, and I just be sitting there not doing shit. So yeah, he kind of motivated me this week to go ahead and get in the gym and get back into what I used to do like a few years ago. But yeah, I'm gonna put some goals for myself, and I've been getting into that lately. What about you?
Not shit here, man. Just a very busy week. Very, very busy. Today I actually went to a fish fry that my old church they throw it like every year, so I had to give me a fish plate. You know what I'm
On
saying?
Friday?
Yeah, well, it's really all weekend, but I got my. I think it started today, but I went ahead and went and got my fish today.
Who
I
was
can't.
cooking?
I don't know. I didn't go in and get it. I had somebody go in and get it for me. But yeah, that shit was definitely a good day to it's Friday. I don't want to date the podcast, but it's Friday. You know, it's a good
I
fish
mean, it's a
Friday.
Friday. Like, what about sides? Do they have any sides or?
Man, just fries, coleslaw. They had two
Oh,
pieces of
okay,
bread.
okay. Nice little
Um,
lunch.
good lemon cake or whatever kind of cake that it's probably 7 Up cake to be honest. Um, they had to include the tartar sauce, the hot sauce. They packed it up for us, so definitely appreciative of that plate for sure. But other than that, I mean, shit, man. I guess we can get into the topics that we got for y'all today. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's get it.
Um, First thing I want to talk about, man. I think everybody done probably seen this shit going on this week, man. Everybody, well, not everybody, but it's a certain demographic of people, out here that's mad about the new Little Mermaid trailer. So I guess Little Mermaid is coming back, another reboot, yet another reboot, man. There's been so many damn reboots I can't even keep up with them. But so Little Mermaid is coming back.
Yeah, it's like people running out of ideas for new content, or why is there so many reboots? I feel like our generation is just filled with a lot of reboots of like old shit.
I don't know. I don't think it's a lack of new ideas. I think that people just want to fund certain things.
It's like the safe bet.
It's a safe bet, and I was actually listening to another podcast, and let me see, what's the person that made Love and Basketball or directed Love and Basketball? Let me see where her name is, because she said something interesting.
Sana Latham.
No, she was in it. Gina Prince Bythewood. So she actually had mentioned something about why new movies are kind of the way they are, which is because really the ones that get the big budget are the ones that already have a big backing, or it's already a book, or it's already like set in stone. So when it comes to like putting money into these new ideas and these new scripts, new productions, like I don't think that Hollywood is willing to invest in them. So I really think that might be what it is, to
That's
be
the thing
honest.
these days. Is it really Hollywood anymore? There's so many different streaming services and platforms these days, um, where you can post your content and you can make it yourself. You can even get investors from all around. It's not. I don't think it's just going to Hollywood anymore. So that's kind of like an interesting thing to say. Oh, it's Hollywood not backing this because there's so many. It seems like to me that there's so many different places that you can go to get backing if it's a good idea.
This is true, and I mean, she. So what they were saying
Is she
is,
an actor
no, she
or
directed.
that
She's a
directs a movie?
director. She directed Love and Basketball. She's directing the new Woman King that's coming out with
It
Miss
sounds like
Viola
she's
Davis.
she's looking for a big budget kind of
I mean, she got a proven
movie.
track record. Like she's
I
she got a
mean,
proven.
what's the latest movie? I mean, Love and Basketball.
I said Woman King, the Woman King with Viola Davis. Like that's gonna be big. It hasn't came out yet, but it's gonna be
Oh
big.
yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
but you
Anything with Viola Davis, I guess.
no for sure. But you brought up an interesting point though, because you said like Netflix and all that. That's what she was saying though. She was saying like before, like when DVDs was out, like oh yeah, we can get anything in for real. But once Netflix came out and kind of like centralized everything, it's like okay, well we really gonna do these same things. We're gonna do something. Netflix has some extra obscure shit sometimes too, but a lot of times should be reboots and shit like that.
I
Um,
mean, Netflix has been. I can definitely tell they're investing a lot into foreign content as well.
yep, she
So
said that as well.
there's a lot of foreign shows and things that are maybe huge in their country that they're dubbing and they're putting on the platform, which I really enjoy. There's been a good amount of shows on Netflix from different countries, and I'm like, man, these are fucking good. Like if Netflix didn't do that, we would have never been introduced to these kind of shows.
Yeah, they be knowing what they doing over there, man, over in those other, across the seas and stuff like that. But the real reason I wanted to, I guess, how we even got here is we're talking about the Little Mermaid, and so of course we have Halle Bailey. Shout out to Halle Bailey, beautiful voice, beautiful woman. She will be playing what's the Little Mermaid name? Ariel, I think. So I guess the trailer came out, and I think me and Rod was discussing it earlier, and I guess the trailer had like hella dislikes versus likes. The like dislike ratio is kind of important in the social media age.
It wasn't really a big crazy ratio. It was just a lot of dislikes.
Okay,
Like
okay.
of course, there was a lot of love for sure. Um, but when I seen the number, it astonished me, but it didn't astonish me at the same time. It said maybe at the time that it was removed or whatever, 1.5 million dislikes on YouTube from people who are hating that a black woman could take on the reins of Ariel, a fictional character anyway. Like, who really cares?
Them.
So it's like for someone to go on there and look at a trailer and just because she's black, there's all this hate and messages like, oh, that's like making Black Panther white or something like that. Like, it's not the same thing at all.
Is it? You don't think that's the same thing? I think it is.
That's not the same thing. Ariel doesn't have to be white like that. Like that doesn't have to be like her.
Does Black Panther have to be black though? Not necessarily. Just because
Black
he's from
Panther had to
Africa.
be black because it's literally when it's black superheroes. A lot of times, black superheroes have black in the name.
That is true. Black Widow. I think it was Black Widow. Black. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not no superhero nigga, so I think Black Widow is black. I don't know. But just because the nigga was from Africa, don't mean he got to be black. It's white people in South Africa.
Yeah, he could have been Elon Musk.
You know what I'm saying? Or he could have been Doja Cat for real. So like, I get what you're saying though. Like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
But
both.
Ariel's a mermaid. It's not a person. Um, there can be other colors of mermaids. I don't even want to say a race. It's just a different color
Yeah.
of a mermaid.
But this type of shit happen every time, man. I know, like with the Miles Morales shit, they got mad at the Spider-Man shit.
You got to support. But Miles Morales was always like a Hispanic
That's true.
heritage.
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's like a different version of
yeah, it's more
Spider-Man
in the
for sure.
future, more progressive versions for sure.
Yeah, I mean they got mad when they was talking about Idris Elba was about to be James Bond. Like it's always some backlash, but
I
you
don't
know
want to see a black person as James Bond though.
why not? The one of the smoothest motherfuckers in the world. Like who else smooth? Like we smooth.
You think Idris Elba is smooth? Pause.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but pause that.
Pause.
No, I'm saying like black people in general is we like we
Who else?
smooth.
What other black dude you think should be on 007?
I really can't even tell you, but I know like what ain't most of them niggas British, like all the 007s. So it's like that's a British nigga that's a good actor. He's well renowned. Like why not? You know.
I guess. I mean, I don't know why it has to be him in particular, but
I don't know. I mean, that's what they were saying. That he was about to do it. I think, or wasn't it about to be a black woman too, as James Bond?
I could have swore they came out with like a spy that was black, and it was kind of like 007, but just it was like a black guy did the role, and it was a movie that came out.
A
I can't remember.
007, or
It
it was a
wasn't
different.
007. No, it was a different name and everything.
Mm,
But it was like they have a black spy movie. Well, it don't even got to be a black. It's like it's a spy movie with a guy that's black, happens to be black,
right,
and
right.
it's just like, why does it even matter? Like, why does 007 have to be black?
He
I feel
don't.
like in that case, it's not. You don't have to. So
Mm-hmm. I mean, the reason I brought it up is because I mean, like I said, people get mad every time somebody comes and kind of talks about, oh, this fictional character that's been historically white is now black. So I don't know. It just happens every time, and people have already done said everything that we need to say, and that's on their minds. Like,
yeah, it's like you got to look at our fucking country for 1.5 million people to say, oh, because she's black, I'm not watching this. It's like really, like it's the same song.
yeah.
Like what? Why does it matter?
But you know what? This is.
Same movie.
Let me tell you why I'm here today, man. 'Cause like I said, everybody done already told people. Everybody's already said their opinion on it. But let's go here. So this article is called "100 Times a White Actor Played Someone Who Wasn't White." So I'm just gonna read through a few of these just for you guys' information. This is verifiable. This is on the Washington Post. You can go watch the movie or TV show to actually look at it. So let me go from I'm gonna go from the bottom because that's the most recent. So I'm gonna read through like five of these. Um, 2017, Scarlett Johansson has signed on to play Motoko Kusanagi, who is Japanese in the anime series, and that was in Ghost in the Shell. We have Tilda Swinton in Doctor Strange 2016, who played a Tibetan mystic. We have let's see who else we got. We have I'm trying to see some that I recognize. Johnny Depp played a Native American sidekick Tonto in The Lone Ranger in 2013. Ben Affleck played Tony Mendez, an American whose father was Mexican in Argo. Last one I'm gonna bring up for you guys. Avatar: The Last Airbender in 2010. All the characters were Asian and Native American, but in the film, the three primary protagonists have been transformed into white characters. Only the villain remained a person of color. Ain't that something interesting? So I don't know. I just kind of came out here to kind of tell you guys like why what's the hold up? What are we doing here? What are we doing? If we're gonna complain about something, let's look at the history of what white folks done did and I won't say colonized, but y'all done took over them roles that could have been given to a Native American person, a black person, an Asian person. So that's really all I got to say about it, man. To be honest, but any last thoughts on Ariel?
Nah, I forgot. We definitely made our point known. Ariel can be black. It can be white. It could have been Hispanic, Asian. It really didn't matter. As long as the role has someone who can perform the songs and is a likable person in front of TV and does the role well, that's all that really matters.
And what happened to all the folks that be like, I don't judge people on the content of I don't judge people on their skin color. I judge the people on the content of their character. What happened to all those people? Because we all know Halle Bailey can sing. We don't really know if she can act yet. I ain't never seen her in no movie, but I thought we didn't judge people because of color. What happened with that? So y'all stop the cap, stop the cap, stop the bullshitting. And y'all better go support too, because definitely black folks gonna go support that motherfucker. So
You going to
shout out.
watch it?
No, I'm not. I might buy a ticket to it and not go, but I'm not. I'm good. I don't like the original, to be honest. Like I never was a big fan of the Little Mermaid. I feel like that was that for little girls? I don't know.
Damn. I mean, I'm pretty sure I watched it back in the day as a kid. I don't know if it mattered, but it used to come on a Disney Channel. I mean, maybe it had from what I remember, like a TV series. a cartoon series about Little Mermaid.
Anyway, let's move on, man. Let's go ahead and get into the next topic. We can talk about the Chick-Fil-A employee. So I guess what happened somewhere in Florida, a Chick-Fil-A employee saved a woman and her baby during a carjacking. So I guess you want to break down what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you said it all right there. What kind of guy runs on a woman with her baby in her hand and try to carjack her at a fast food establishment, Chick-Fil-A?
Yeah.
But luckily, the good staff over there at Chick-Fil-A are heroes, and not all heroes wear capes. Like in particular, right here, like this goes to show you that more people should be eating at Chick-Fil-A. When there's good people like that in the world, and they represent a company that's God fearing, you might as well go down there and pick you up a chicken sandwich, get you a nice lemonade, get you a shake, and support people who support you.
Nah,
What you
for
got to
real.
think about?
Let me get a folks some background. So, straight from the article from NBC News, the woman told deputies that she was getting her nephew out of his car seat when somebody approached her wielding a stick. I guess he was trying to use it as a weapon, and he grabbed her keys, and that's when she started screaming for help, and then the Chick-Fil-A guy came over and tackled bruh, like what I mean, like on some NFL, on some real off offensive lineman type shit, like really tackle, bro. So there's a video out there for you folks that want to go and take a look at that. But I mean, yeah, you said it. Like it's dope. I wouldn't say like, oh, go buy a Chick-Fil-A sandwich because this one Chick-Fil-A employee did it, but you know what I mean. Like I think it's dope. It's good to see that there's good Samaritans still out here and people that still standing on some type of principle. Because it seems like sometimes it don't seem like people stand on anything these days. So it's dope to see that he potentially saved. Well, I guess he wasn't go kidnap her.
I mean, the thing is, it's like we've been hearing these great Samaritan stories from a lot of Chick-Fil-A's and just like good service in general. So
Mm-hmm.
it just goes to show that when it comes down to hiring employees and stuff, you ain't got to be Popeyes. Like
Nah,
you can be Chick-Fil-A. Like take pride in who you bring on the team, and that shit right there can like turn a business into what it is today.
no, that's definitely true. So yeah, shout out to that guy, man. Shout out to good Samaritans out there. But
We don't hear enough of them stories either.
we don't. I wonder why that is though. I mean, we was kind of having a conversation earlier about like the news and like I was saying that really that's what media and a lot of shit that we're fed is really meant to be negative. That was my standpoint that like they do this shit on purpose, like always tell us the negative story, but you kind of had like a different idea on it. You said that sometimes it could be positive. I guess. I mean, you guess you want to speak on that on the news and shit.
I mean, we would have to put a little bit more context into the conversation. Why we got into that. Um, but we'll talk about that at a future time. But the ideas was like social media and the correlation to news and what do people like to engage with. So knowing people like to engage with negative shit that happens all the time. Um, every time someone dies or robbed or shot at, like you see thousands of comments and thousands of emojis from ranging from sad to I'm gonna smoke on this or oh it wouldn't be me or someone got set up. Like there's always like a thousand of comments like that, but it's always to the negative stuff. But sometimes when some of these good things do happen, the engagement, the clicks, the people, the social impact of it, people don't have the same amount of respect or love, or it's more or less people just scroll by it. So I was saying that it may be not a bad thing to lean into like positive topics because we hear so much of the negative from everywhere else. Um, like positive things can just like be things that draw emotion out of people, um, whether they're trying to teach something or to a community. Um, it should be anything that brings out strong emotion that and being impactful. That's more of like an engageful. thing. So that's what I was saying about it.
No, I mean, I think you do have a point. Like, yeah, I mean, it is good to put positive, energy out there. But I mean, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm the same dude that used to get on World Star Hip Hop and be like, "Let me look at these fight compilations." Like, um, I'm that same person. I'm just me, so I'm really speaking for myself. But I really would.
And that's the thing. I do the same. Like I did the same thing. And everybody has like just what I'm saying is like everybody have all these different traits to themselves, and it's always the negative point of view. Is like you don't always have to push that, and like the idea when other people or other cultures and stuff look at us, we're pushing out the information. Like black people are pushing out the information on their own platforms, and if you don't want people to view you as that, what you're putting out there for yourself, then it creates a clash when it comes down to like um when someone acts like, oh, if you need help um or want to work with you or just in general, like it can even get more deep. I don't even want to say like get scared, but sometimes people can even get frightened by the content that's put out.
Yeah,
And a lot of time, like every time that you look on the news, it was like they're trying to say, oh, hip hop and rap and music did this because blah blah blah. And I feel like what they're looking at is like our media platforms and what we promote ourselves.
yeah.
So that if that's all they really have to look like, they don't live in our neighborhood.
I mean, look at the biggest, platforms that are in the. I won't even say the black community. I'll say like the hip hop community, like the Shade Room. It's in the name, the Shade Room. Like, DJ Academics has a big platform. I don't honestly. I ain't gonna cap and say that I actually look at both of those pages, but from what I've seen, it's been nothing but maybe slanderous information, and negative information, and things like that. And people eat the shit up. Like, those are two of the biggest platforms that we have. As a hip hop community. I won't say black because we're not all the same, but I will say that I don't know. I kind of want to do an experiment and be like, okay, let's post some positive shit for like a month, and then we can post some negative shit for a month to see what sticks. 'Cause I just really, I don't know it's a feeling that I have that people really or what's the word, gravitate towards shit that's negative, just because a lot of people don't have shit going on in their lives. So for them to go and see somebody else doing bad, somebody else arguing, somebody else in some drama, some people, that's exciting to them. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, there is places, on the internet where you can go to see some positive shit.
Yeah, it's like there's different audience and people that you're trying to attract. And what I think when it comes down to that, I like to think of other platforms, like Earn Your Leisure. They're not leaning into all the negative
Mm-mm.
conversation and all
Yeah,
that kind
not
of
at all.
stuff. They're trying to empower our community. They're teaching about ranges of. It's too much to really. You got to go to their page and check it out. But
Yeah, business,
yeah, stocks,
investment.
whatever, investments, whatever. But they're trying to empower our neighborhood. So there's good positive news. There's things out there for sure. Like if that's what you're looking for, and they have an audience that portrays that, and they're engaging a lot because they see how many people they've helped out already, how they helped themselves. That's for one. And when you have things like that out there, I feel like you're bound to have people come to you.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't call that news though. I think they put positive information out, but when it comes to news, I don't know who
If
does
they
that.
put out, okay, I believe it is news though.
Okay.
If they say, "Oh, this black business is doing well," like the razor business, saying, "Oh, this
Oh,
business is
Bevel.
doing yeah something." I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if it
Okay.
is or if it
Okay.
isn't.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, hey, this black business is doing well," or this in the stock and blah blah blah, and telling people, "Hey, like you maybe want to look in that because you can't really give advice on financials and stuff like that." But um, or say, "Hey, check out this." Or they always talk about the events they throw. We're throwing this event in your town, and um, make sure you tell all your friends we have these people coming, these people coming, and they're all having conversations and stuff like that. I feel like that's news. Like that's positive news. Like they're doing something positive, and it's also an event. It's a function. It's teachable.
Right.
If it's teachable, it's news.
Okay. Yeah, that might have that kind of switched my perspective on it. But I guess let me say this last thing before we get off of this topic. I think I think the thing is when we talk about like the news that we see, like the general news, maybe like the Breakfast Club or some of the other accounts that I already talked about, things that they post, is really about a lot of celebrity news or people that are the cream of the crop, quote unquote, of the people that actors, musicians, things of that nature. And I think what happens a lot of times is I don't think that I think there's a segment of people that genuinely don't want to see them do well. So they be waiting on a moment for something bad to happen. So I think that's also just another factor that plays into like why a lot of the stuff that's put out is like negative. Like we don't really. I mean, maybe somebody be like, "Oh, they just had a baby. Like that's positive," or "They just got married. That's positive." But they'll talk about all the somebody on drugs, somebody just went to rehab. Like Wendy Williams just went to rehab like yesterday or like the other day. So it's like, okay, we posting this, but we're not posting. I don't know. I just think it needs to be a space for more positive things like all the time, every day, all the time type shit. Like let's stop showing the negative. But other than that, I guess we can get into this next topic that we have for you folks today. Let us know you
Yeah, I
guys'
feel like
thoughts.
it's a balance for sure.
Yeah, you gotta have that. Let's get into this next topic, man. For you folks today, let us know what you guys think of what we talked about so far and everything that we're going to continue to talk about in this episode. Hit us up on Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you can comment. Go ahead and hit us up and let us know. But
Yes, sir.
so yeah, let me go ahead and get into this next topic. There's actually a couple different news stories regarding this that's happened this week. So the first one is
Ha, that's crazy.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
this one right here is one of the articles I was looking at
Hmm.
very recently. So two buses of migrants dropped off outside of Vice President Kamala Harris's residence near the Naval Observatory in D.C.
Hmm.
And this is actually posted by Fox News. And they was there with footage. So they had two buses of migrants who were dropped off Thursday morning outside of Vice President Kamala Harris's residence. It was approximately about 100 of them from Venezuela, and they dropped them off real early from Del Rio, Texas, and they just literally left people outside. Like they just dropped them off, and these people just literally got like trash bags and things and bags of their clothes and items, and you could just see them mingling amongst each other, just trying to figure, all right, what's next? Like, where do we go?
Yeah.
Um, so it looks like it has to do with Governor Abbott. He's the Texas governor. He has a lot of policies that are very strong on border control, and he thinks this administration is not really doing too much about it. Very lackadaisical, and um, for him to play with somebody, 100 people lives like this, and have them go from Texas, from people who are just trying to get in the border and trying to better themselves, and send them in front of another political person's home as just a showing of like as a joke to you, or you trying to prove a point. Or it's like there's better ways to prove a point than um ship off 100 people. Like that what kind of
Yeah.
evil person you have to be to do that? Like you got to be very cold hearted. Like, do you have a heart? Is these the people that when you're going to go vote, you're putting this guy on the ballot? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean he's the governor. Yeah, they definitely voting for him. It's the same man that let them. Where remember when Texas, when it was like all that snowing and the power went out, like that's the same man that didn't manage that correctly. He let all them motherfuckers suffer.
Yeah.
in the wintertime. Like, it's the same guy.
And I'm not
And
even trying to be Republican or Democrat. That's not really what it's about. It's just about being a good, genuine person. It's like if you believe that that was okay, like I can't really like rely on you or like or even remotely like have any amount of respect for you if you was able to do something that like that to families and human beings. Like you're treating them already like less than.
crazy thing is, the day before this article is from CNN. Two planes carrying migrants were sent by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to Martha's Vineyard on Wednesday night. So that's, it says in the latest series of moves by Republican governors. So this is not the first time this week. This has happened before. Transported migrants to northern liberal enclaves to protest what they say are inadequate federal efforts on southern border security. So I don't know. I think, like you said, like they think this shit a joke. They think, playing with people's lives is a game. Like this is really not. This is really real people. Like I realize that, right? I think like I hear their arguments. They say, stop trying to come here illegally, and woo, woo, woo. But at the same time, you can't take the time to try to process them and try to get them in here in a legal fashion. Like, what is? I don't see what sending them up to somewhere else where they're not gonna have. Because if they really cared about, oh, these people are coming here, they're doing this and doing that. If you really care, you wouldn't send them to somewhere where you can't monitor them. Like you really just sent them to random spots, and they can really wander and go wherever they want to at this point. So it's like, I don't know. They trying to prove a point. They trying to, so, oh, Democrats bad. Like I don't know. The whole
What you
shit is
think
stupid and childish.
what you think the immigrants said, Venezuelan immigrants said once they got there?
I
When
don't
you looked
know.
at the picture of them, like they were just standing on the corner
No, I didn't
near
see no
Camilla's
picture.
crib.
Oh,
Camilla
I
just
see. I
look,
see.
yeah. Yeah, I'm imagining like Camilla just looking out the window, like I can't believe this. Like,
Man, outside of her residence, like really outside of her car.
I
You
would
know, and that,
never want that. Like that many people just outside my house,
yeah, nah.
especially like illegal immigrants. Like, you
I
know how the
mean,
neighbors were pissed off.
oh,
Like
they was
they definitely
mad.
wasn't like just Camilla that was mad about this.
No, not a lot, not at all. You know what? I'm kind of making a parallel to this because I'm thinking about like how, like maybe a politician will do something and then people will go protest outside of their house. Like this, I think they protested outside of the vice president's house before, Kamala Harris, and for some reason I want to say they did it to Brett Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court justice. Like, so it's kind of like the same type of thing. I think that he really sent them there, like, as like, oh, you want to send people to our houses? We gonna send somebody over there. Like, I don't know, man. But what were they thinking? I don't know. I'm really interested to hear like where they ended up, like as of today, which was only a couple of days ago. But where are they?
Are they still
Um,
there on the corner?
I hope not. I hope they're not still on the
You
corner.
think they
Like,
moved?
I don't know. I see them with their little garbage bags and shit like that. It don't look like they brought a lot, which is like crazy. Like they really just touched down in America and they was like, all
It's
right,
not like they can bring a suitcase.
that is true too. That is true.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't see no suitcase. All I see is white garbage bags, some Glad bags. Somebody got a Kroger bag or something. I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean, but they made it. They made it to America.
they made it to the land of hopes and dreams, the land of opportunity, as they say. I don't know, man. I just think shit like this is just like it's stupid. You're trying to prove a point, but it's like I feel like people when they be trying to prove a point, they go after so many other good ideas, and they're just like, okay, we're just gonna put them on a bus and send them up north, like on a plane and send them up north. Like, what does that do? Do they think maybe they'll take action and be like, okay, we're gonna close the borders now? Because that's not gonna happen. That's definitely not gonna happen. With the Biden administration. But um, hey, man, I just think let people live their life. Let people get in here legally. Put them through the process, even though it take 15, 20 years. Put them through the process. Give them visas or whatever, and call it a day. That's how I feel about it. It's stupid though.
Yeah.
But
Like I already said, that shit is evil.
yeah,
I just can't imagine someone really doing that. and thinking that shit's funny. He a real life supervillain.
I mean, they are the governor, so I'm assuming they could probably like make decisions without consultation and asking people. But who really was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea? Like, oh, do that.
Yeah, it just don't even sound like a good idea. I'm like, who okayed that?
I don't know. And whose money was spent? I know the taxpayer dollars wasn't spent on the buses and the planes. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. Anyway, let's kind of get into this next subject that we kind of talked about before, but I wanted to bring the larger conversation to the podcast. I had mentioned to Rod that I was watching a YouTuber who he's on his journey. He's on a journey of going back home. So it's a black man, by the way, older black man. So he's on his journey of going back home and going back to Africa. So he's lived over there for a good amount of time. And he actually had a video where he was speaking about, wow, a lot of people. I see a lot of people, and I spoke to a lot of people that have been leaving Africa, after coming back home, quote unquote. And so the reason that he was saying, like, one of the biggest reasons was because of
They
money.
talk about what part of Africa?
I can't remember what countries he was talking about specifically. I want to say he had been to a few countries. He would definitely have lived in a few countries over there, Ghana, Nigeria.
Okay, so he was traveling.
Yeah, he was definitely traveling around the continent. But so I guess people were leaving a specific area. Let's make that clear. We really only talking about a specific area that he was in, because a lot of the things over there, toothpaste. He said toothpaste costs $10, deodorant costs $10, a bag of Doritos costs $10, and it adds up. And eating out costs way more than it costs out over in America. So people run out of money, and they just decide to come back over here, get another job, and run up the money. But I guess the conversation I wanted to have was like, I've thought, like, I definitely want to go travel over to Africa, to maybe Liberia or Nigeria, Ghana, things like that. I mean, I guess what's your thoughts on that? Have you ever, wanted to take that trip over there?
First off, paying $10 for Doritos is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
$10. And the thing, when you start telling me the story earlier, you were saying deodorant and basically all your regular supplies. And then immediately, the first thing that's popped in my head, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm like, I can't. Oh, I'm gonna say majority can't afford to buy $10 deodorant and all these supplies that people use every day, like that price, and still be living there fine. Like, there got to be local supplies and stuff. Like, Americans must, if he's talking to Americans and stuff like that, they must be still trying to buy like American stuff for overseas.
Yes, yep. Now that you
So
say that, I do remember he said that he buys like either Crest or Colgate, which I want to say is an American company. So yeah, but
so
go ahead.
I feel like that's the issue there. If you're going there, like, it's just like being here and trying to get something from overseas.
Yeah,
It's gonna cost more than if you was there. So it's the same idea. Like, when you're there, you gotta get some local and figure out some local supplies if you want to live out there and have that kind of budget and pricing of the products. Um, like, you move there, like, you gotta get accustomed to what they do there.
right.
Like, you can't go there and like, if you want to live like you lived here, just keep your ass here.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to hear. Like, I wonder if they didn't want to, acclimate themselves to, the culture of the country, or was it just hard to, or like why
Well, that's
they
just to play
didn't?
devil's advocate, though. But
No, I mean that's real. That's real. Like, I would assume like say I was like, okay, let's move to Japan and do the podcast. Like, we gonna go over there, eat Japanese food. We gonna buy Japanese. You know what I mean? Like,
let's
it's the same
go.
thing. I'm with it. Like, so it's just like, I feel like if you would move anywhere, you would want to assimilate with the culture. So yeah, that's a good point.
So you'll buy your condoms and shit out the vending machines.
Oh, that's what they be doing over there.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I
They
feel
got
like they got.
condoms, panties, all that in the vending
I was about to
machines.
say they got a lot of shit in the vending machines over
Cigarettes.
there. Yeah, shit, I might have to. I mean, shit, that's the only place I can get them. If I can't go to, a corner store and get them hoes, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be dope. I definitely would. Since I'm still young, I would love to like spend like 5 years over there and live over there.
Where?
Like I said, maybe Liberia. I don't know because I haven't been before. I would want to go over there first and be like, oh,
You said
this the
Liberia?
like Liberia, Nigeria, like
Liberia.
Ghana.
Liberia's not in Africa.
What? Yes, it is.
Liberia?
This nigga, man. This nigga's not good at geography. Yes, it
West
is.
Africa. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I took an African class. Man.
Shit, nigga ain't know. He ain't even know. Reason I say that is because one of my artists that I really like, Nina
Were we in the
Simone's.
same African class actually?
Wait, nah, I don't think
I
so.
was in class with somebody.
We did have classes together, but I don't think we had that one.
It was some African culture, and like I remember they had like a blank map, and it was like fill this in other countries.
Shit, I couldn't do that for Europe, Asia.
I was confused.
South America.
Like,
We might have had the same class. Was it like It was an African man that was teaching it?
Nah, it was a white lady.
Oh no, it was a different class then.
She was dope though. They always do be like that.
Down for the cause type shit. But yeah, like yeah, I would be interested to go first, explore, and then find a place to settle down for a couple years. I would like to do that on every continent though, to be honest, not just Africa, but I really want to do it in Africa just because I don't know. It's just one of them things. I feel like going home sound good, right? I think. I don't know. But
What if you got bit by a mosquito?
shit, it is what it is.
Next time you come back here, you be like skinny like an Ethiopian.
We're not gonna do that though. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that narrative on this. We're not gonna put that narrative on here, man.
Come back with a big head and skinny body.
I mean, you ain't shit, man. Leave them folks alone, man. I mean,
These are just jokes, people. It's not. I don't believe all Ethiopians like that for sure.
But like, and that's another thing, though. Like, we really only taught, certain types of things about Africa. I mean, we like you ain't even know Liberia was in Africa because we taught that like, oh, it's Africa. We not taught the separate countries like Germany, France.
I don't know why
Spain.
the name just sounded Russian or like somewhere where it was cold.
You talking about Siberia, not Liberia. I think Siberia is in Russia. But yeah.
Maybe I just heard you wrong.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's shit. If I get bit by a mosquito, it is what it is. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I really don't have too much to say about that shit, man. Somebody give me a plane ticket over there. I know that shit probably at least $1,500. I'm trying
to get booked out there. Book our show out there.
For real. I don't know if we got any African listeners. If we got African listeners from, various countries, let us know, man. Hit us up. Tell us where to go.
Show love for sure. Also in Jamaica.
Yeah.
He wants to come out there and just like show love and appreciate you guys and bring what we got going on to you guys. Like, man, I know we have a fun ass time though. Nah,
for real. I'm the type of person
I
like to go live with I don't like to go to the like resorts and all that shit. If I go, I never been out the country, but even when I go to different cities, I like to, go with the common folk, be where the common folk at. So definitely let us know if y'all out there. We'll come pull up on y'all, man.
When you was in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was not too long ago, but you had a bike that was gone.
Yeah.
And did you go to the bad parts of Chicago? Because you just like what you just said. You like going to the gritty part of the
I didn't
cities.
say that. I said common folk. That don't necessarily mean common folk. Don't mean the gritty, quote unquote. Like that don't mean that. I was downtown when I got my shit stolen on. So it was like it was like office buildings, like yeah. So now I was not at that very moment. I wasn't in that type of area, but I do still like to do that though, because I like to live as when in Rome, do as Romans do. So
yeah, that kind of leads to this next story I had seen across social media or whatever.